Hello everyone. Welcome to Facebook Live. I am here with you, and I actually want to share I'm talk about something really cool, really fun that I did this weekend. Something that I never thought I would do, and it has made the biggest difference for me. And it's so crazy. It's so crazy. So hello and welcome. I was gonna say hello and welcome. I was gonna say hello, but. Hello and welcome everyone. For those of you joining me, say hello. Say hello in your comments. I want to see who's here. And guys, I'm going to ask you to really share this. It's going to be really fun. I will be taking questions at the end as well. So you can share this. And for those of you joining me, I'm going to really encourage you to share this in our groups as well. That would be awesome. And yes, I'm really excited. Okay. So, first of all, I'm Sherina Mayani, and I am doing this Facebook Live because I want to share with you my experience and lessons from my first half marathon. Again, I have to be careful of this, but I'm not a runner. I never thought I was going to be a runner, and I say this because when I used to be all that was sports, athletics, exercise, I was not that person. But I want to share with you why I did this, why I committed to this, and how this actually helped me in my business. It's helped me make more money. It's helped me with my discipline. It's helped me with my mindset in crazy ways. I never saw the link in this until I actually did it, okay? So I'm gonna share with you all of this in this video. And for those of you who are new to me, hello and welcome. I'm really excited that you are here. If you're watching the replay, you're live. Guys, make sure you share this video as well so we can reach the most amount of people. Because I know it's gonna be really fun what we're gonna be talking about here, and obviously it's much more fun when we're having conversations as well. So yes, what were my lessons? I first want to share with you what my main lessons were from doing this half marathon. And guys, for those of you who are joining me, just say hello so I know that you guys are here and it's all working correctly, because sometimes Facebook can go a little crazy on me. Is it all working correctly? Yeah? Cool? Yes? No? Yes? Okay. It is. Okay, great. Perfect, guys. I just want to make sure, because this always happens when we're doing things like this and then suddenly it's... Okay, there we are. Awesome. Okay, sorry about that. So what were my lessons from this crazy experience, which is crazy because I never thought I was going to do something so crazy like this. Number one, when I started training for this, I was so focused, oh my God, 21K. I had never ran before, I never had done not even 5K, nothing. So thinking about half marathon, which is 25, I'm 25. Thank God it's not 25. 21K was so crazy, it was so far off. And here's what I learned. Thinking about 21K was making me feel bad. It was making me feel overwhelmed because it was something new to me and I was literally freaking out about it. So really breaking the goal to 5K. 1K even made a big difference for me. And this reminds me in business, it's the same thing, right? In business, when we're thinking oh, I want to reach the $10,000 a month, I want to reach 6 figures. Sometimes if we're not there yet and we've never made that type of money before, it can be scary, like me with the half marathon, right? It can be really scary. So for me, breaking it down, instead of thinking, okay, half marathon, I was thinking 1K. I literally, guys, was thinking 1K, 1K. 1 mile, that made the biggest difference for me. And I feel this is a lesson that we need to really include and apply in our business. Whatever you're focused on in your business, break it down. It is so much easier, and you'll see how easier it can be. When I did 1K, I did 5K, then 7K, then 10K, then 15K, then 2-3 weeks ago, I did 18K, and I was like, whoa, And it starts like that. That's one of my lessons, right? Breaking it down. Second lesson I learned, there's no way you can fail unless you quit. There's no way you can fail. So I'll share with you what happened here, my story and why I joined this. I started training for running a year ago, literally a year, 13 months ago. And I literally joined and I started training for this, honestly, because I had many friends who were doing it. And I was hearing and learning about how this can really help your mindset. When you train, you gotta have a very powerful mindset. As you guys know me, I'm all about the mindset and how we think and all that. And I was like, okay, I need to see this. And what I also was noticing that many people who are very successful, they used to train for something. They were really into exercise and endurance stuff, right? Like endurance sports. And I was like, okay, I need to check this out, right? Instead of I want to see what this is about, right? Hi Laura, thank you. Thank you Zora, thank you Sharik. Hi Sharik, so nice to see you here. And guys, I'm gonna ask you for a favor to really share this. I would really, really appreciate it, okay? And by the way guys, for those of you who are joining me live and are sharing this, there's a gift for you at the end of this Facebook Live. So make sure you share and make sure you're here live so you can win the awesome gift. Okay, so I started this exactly as I was saying 13 years ago to train, and it was that because of the mindset. But when I joined and I said and I committed to do this, I had no idea what I was getting into, guys. Like no idea. I had no idea that running could actually be really challenging. Like I didn't know what I was like, oh, run, like I'll just do it and that's it, right? Like how hard can it really be? Until I actually did it and I was like, whoa, my first month of training was the most toughest because I was like, oh my God. And then I had a coach, a training coach, right? A running coach. And my first half marathon was gonna be in November last year. And I was training, I remember I was seeing how I was stopping myself, how I was giving excuses, how I did not want to run every day, I had a new excuse. Again, I was coming from not training at all. Like I was not training at all, I was not exercising. I used to do yoga there and here, but I was not the person who used to train and exercise every day. It's crazy, because today I'm the person who trains 6 times a week. Like how crazy can things shift? And when I started shifting my lifestyle into that, I was like it was hard, it was really challenging. And I trained, and I was freaking out about the idea that I was going to do my first half marathon back in November, and actually that half marathon was in Santa Barbara. So I had traveled there for this. The day before the half marathon, I woke up sick. My tummy was upset, and I was like, whoa, it's been a while since I've actually fallen sick, because learning about energy and things like that, I understand how these physical symptoms are like emotional stuff, and me doing the clearing and things like that, as you guys know, I'm kind of in control of that. So I was like, whoa, what does this mean, right? And I realized that it was all my resistance towards running. And funny story is that the day before I was sick, I was the whole day not feeling good. The next day, my trainer was like, look, if you feel good by 4, because the race was like 6, 7 a.m. If you feel good by 4 a.m., like sleep it out and you do it. If not, like, I opened at 4 a.m. and I was like, literally could not wake up, and I'm like, I can't even move. Like, how am I going to race, like run for 21K? And she's like, you know what, then, no pushing it, like just leave it. And I was like, okay, I went back to sleep, woke up at 7 a.m. In November, and I was feeling great. I was in LA. And I went the whole day, I was like doing sightseeing, went to Universal Studios, and I was like crazy in my mind because I didn't want to do the 21K. I had so much resistance. So I felt like a failure back in November. I was like, oh my God, I had committed to do this and I didn't, And the same happens in business, right? How many times in business we try a webinar, we try a launch and it fails, or something happens, or we are self-sabotage and it doesn't work out. And we feel like a failure. Like how many times this has happened to you guys, right? And guys, share with me. I see you guys joining me. Sam, hello. Laura, it is challenging. I know, Laura, you're training too, right? For 5K, is it, or 10K? I think you started recently too, you mentioned, right? So November, I thought I was a failure. Then again, I was like, okay, when's the next race? Because I was like, you know what? I'm not going to go abroad to do my first half marathon. I'll do it in Panama. And the next half marathon in Panama was in March. And I was like, I committed to it, everything. Then suddenly I checked a month before, the date had changed, or I made a mistake. I don't know. And it was the day after my best friend's wedding. And I was one of the bridesmaids. And I was like, okay, I'm waking up early in the morning with no sleep, my best friend's wedding, I just don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. So I didn't. I didn't do it in March. And then I was like, in April, I was like, I had given up. Guys, I had given up on the running thing. I was like, you know what? This running thing is not for me. And all these blocks. Again, guys, I share this with you in all transparency, because whatever you're thinking, whatever holding you back in your business, in everything, it's all fixable. And it's all normal. We all experience these things, right? April, I was talking to a friend, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm just not gonna do this. I was selling her on the idea why I would never run again in my life, basically. And she was like, she reminded me why I did this, because of the mindset. And I realized how my mindset was poor, in the sense of I was letting myself get sabotaged by all the limitations that I was in my mind setting up myself to be. Again, I was training. So you know what, when's the next half marathon in Panama? And it was in July, right? Literally this week. And I was like, I'm gonna do it. I got myself a mastermind partner in Panama. I trained with her. And I was like, I'm doing it, that's it, period. Guys, you have no idea how many times I wanted to quit and not do it. had all the excuses. Like even on Saturday, the race was this Saturday, I was like, you know what? I don't think I should do it. It's not good for me, because crazily enough, like on Saturday, like the day before, I got my period. And I was like, no. Like I can't do it. Like so crazy. Like talk about resistance, guys. Talk about excuses, right? Hi, Anime. So nice to see you here. So guys, is this resonating with you guys? Like, have you experienced resistance, right? In anything that you set up yourself to do, like a business, maybe again, I'm sharing you my story, my first half marathon, but maybe you have felt this experience or resistance in your business or anything like I experienced this too in my business. It's so crazy. And then I was like, okay, no. And I made sure that I surrounded myself with people who were gonna like keep me accountable. I had shared with my clients that I was gonna do this. So part of me was like, okay, I told my clients, I promised my clients, like my Money Flow Mastery clients back in March, April, that I was gonna do this. Like I had set a post and I said, I was gonna do this, guys. And like just remembering that I had done that, I was like, I need to do this. Like I need to be the person who says what she's gonna do, because I know the power of that, right? Exactly, Laura, right? Like resistance to success every day. And I'm like every day, right? Like talk about resistance, so crazy. But it's good. Resistance shows that we're growing, right? So that's good that every day because I know what I mean, you're growing like every day. Absolutely, Sherry, crazy, right? So long story short, this is one of the lessons, right? On Saturday, I woke up, all the excuses in the world, but you know what? I was like, no, I'm doing it. That's it, period. I cleared my calendar for the weekend. I committed to nothing other than this race. I was like, no social gathering, nothing, because I didn't want to feel like I need to be here or like, you know, all of that stuff. Like I was like, no to everything. And that day, I literally, the night before, I slept like a baby, woke up late, which I don't usually. I woke up at 6 when I was like, okay, I'm gonna sleep extra. I'm gonna sleep extra. My body needs extra sleep today. Drinking my protein, my amino acids, my carbs, all of that good stuff, the training stuff. And then I was like, you know what? I'm sure there's like, I can do some tapping and clearing around racing and running. And I literally on Saturday, I started doing mindset stuff for running 21K, because I was still freaking out a bit, right? I was still feeling a little nervous about it. So I did it. I actually found this hypnosis like to perform better in running, and I was like, you know, why not do this? I took a nap, I put my headphones, and I just like went with it. And like in my mind, I was like, I'm gonna finish it. I was closing my eyes, visualizing myself reaching the finish line, you know, doing the video of 21K with my medal, which I should show you guys now. Crazy. I was going on my way to the race, right? I was going on my way to the race. My fiance was dropping me, and there was such crazy traffic. Like something had happened that it was so crazy traffic. I was like, oh my God, I won't reach. Like, and I had like left home like earlier, right, to reach on time. And for a moment, I thought I wasn't gonna reach. And I was like, you know what? I don't reach late. Let's just forget it. Like all the reasons, guys, all the reasons. And I reached. I kept on keeping on, and I reached. I did it. And long story short, I did do the race. I did finish it. So crazy. Like I was like, I'm not gonna think about how many kilometers I'm running. I'm just gonna think about, I like put my earphones, put some audios, motivation, and I was like just having fun. I was running, walking, I was doing run walk, and I was making friends with people who I was meeting. And then when I realized, right, I was done. I was done. Like all these voices were telling me I couldn't do it. And all the reasons I felt like a failure. And this is the lesson here, guys. You can't lose, you can't fail until you quit. If I would have quitted back in November, back in March, I would have failed, right? This endeavor, this commitment. But I didn't. I kept on keeping on. And the same in business. This is the lesson here, right? Same in business. I realized in business too. If I do a webinar and it fails, nobody buys or nobody attends, do it again. You know, keep on keeping on. Get better every single time, right? And I remember reaching the finish line on Saturday, and like I was reaching, and I could see that like people were cheering, like I was like, oh my God. I started crying, like tears started coming out, because I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that I did this. Like so crazy, right? Like so crazy. And when I reached it, like I was like, oh my God, I actually did this, like crazy. And here's what happened with me energetically. I feel unstoppable. I feel like a winner. I feel like I can do anything I set my mind to. And that's one of the reasons, right, as I've shared before, why I did this half marathon thing in the first place. Like for me, running so long and so much distance, it was like never would I ever, like So it's impossible for me. But there's magic when you do the impossible, step by step. When you focus step by step, when you don't give up, when you actually do it, you feel amazing. You feel like a winner. Now, I did not put myself crazy goals that I was gonna finish in an hour or 2 hours. I took my time, you know what I mean? I finished before the race was over. The race, like, they gave us like 3.5 hours to finish. I did not take 3.5 hours. I took way less. But it just made me realize that I was competing with my own. There was a time where I was like, oh my God, like I should go faster. They're going faster. No, I was in my lane. I'm like, I don't know their story. It's my first time. I'm gonna listen to my body. Like, plus I had my period. I'm like, I'm gonna go slow, not slow, but I was like, I'm gonna go in my rhythm. And I reached and I feel amazing. That was my rule. My rule was to finish. And it's amazing. It's amazing how you can actually feel. And that's the lesson I wanted to share with you today, right? Like these things, like the first lesson of this was, you gotta break it down. When you put a money goal or a business goal or anything like this, break it down. When you look at it too big, it can be overwhelming and you feel you cannot do it, and then you stop and there's more resistance, right? Me in 21K, I was like, oh my God, I broke it down, 1K, 5K, and I started increasing. Next thing, you cannot fail unless you quit, right? So if you did something and you're in business and you're like, oh my God, it's not working, do it again. Do it again. Like, I had 3 attempts of doing this half marathon, right? Like, third is the charm. I was like, in my mind too, I was like, okay, I have to do this in July. Like, there's no way going back. And I told everyone I knew, I told all my clients, my family and friends and everyone, so I was held accountable to that, right? Because I want to be, I am that woman who says what she's going to do. So I was like, that was holding me strong. And third, I followed my path. You know, I didn't for a moment be like, oh, I made sure, you know, because there was moments where I felt this way, where like, oh, she's done it, she's done faster, she started training, she did the race faster, she did, like, no, I was my own way, my own path. I think it's the same in business too. We got to keep our own path and not compare ourselves, because it can be so crazy comparing ourselves, right? So crazy, guys. So I wanted to do this video to share with you my lessons from this amazing experience, because it was the most amazing experience. Like, I will never forget this experience. It's so crazy. Like, it's so crazy. So Laura's asking, and guys, I'm here to answer any questions you like. So Laura's asking, what was the thing that freaked you out the most? Laura, honestly, what most freaked me out was that, you know, it was the race was like in the road, and it was like, oh my God, in the road. Like, what if something happens? Like, there, I'm alone. You know, like I had a friend who was doing it with me. I knew 3-4 people who were doing it with me, but they were like in different. One was doing a 10K, one was a little bit more ahead of me, not that ahead. But still, you know, like what was freaking me out was like, it's new, right? Like in the road, like I was like, oh my God, right? So that's what freaked me out the most. Dominica, thank you. The nagging voice stays in your mind until the last second. It's crazy, anime. But the powerful thing here, anime, is like not to listen to it. And I feel like to really distract yourself. It's like I was doing things and like distracting myself, so I wasn't thinking of like, oh my God, this is happening, right? That helped a lot. You are so much fun doing friends while doing a half marathon. Well, exactly, anime. I was telling my fiance, because like there was, when I was coming back, there was a point where I was alone, and I was like, oh my God, it was like night, because the half marathon was like in the evening, and I was like, there's a point where I was like right alone. Like I could have slowed down and reached the guys who were behind me, or like speed up, and there was like, I saw a girl in front of me, so I speed up. There's a woman in front of me, and I was like, hi, how are you? And I was just making friends, and I was telling her what I did, and she's like, oh my God, I want to know more about that. Like, I want to build a business. And I was like, yeah, if you want, next day exchange numbers, and I can share with you what I do. And when I told George, my fiance, he's like, oh my God, like even in a half marathon, you're like networking and doing what you do, which is crazy. It becomes a part of you, right? Thank you, Laura. Love this. You're right. The lessons are reflective in all things. Exactly, Angela. And that's why I did this, right? Because it's amazing how, and it's crazy, Angela, because how you do one thing is how you do the other. It's so crazy, but it's so true. I would have cried too. It's an amazing compliment. And I mean, yes, like I was like, oh God, I'm going to try not to cry today, but it was so crazy, so crazy. So thank you, Anime, for summarizing it. So 1, break it down, the lessons. 2, set a deadline and tell it to be held accountable. Anime, that helped me. Anime, you remember, right, when I posted this in the group in Money Flow Mastery, where I was like, guys, I'm training for a half marathon. I'm posting it here to hold me accountable. You know, like, and for me, it was like, I told everyone, like, I need to do it. Follow your path, don't compare. Exactly, because if I would have compared myself with my friend or someone else, I would have been like, I would have felt like a failure. That's the thing. I would have felt like a failure because I didn't do it in 2 hours. I didn't do it like in November, like all these things, right? So I had to follow my own journey, my own path, and make myself my own winner, right? Because I am a winner. And that's the thing, in business too, like, don't put yourself crazy goals. Like, make yourself feel like a winner. When you feel like a winner, you accomplish more because you're in the energy of like, I'm a winner. Laura, I feel your joy. I'm so glad it was so nourishing. It was crazy. Did you have a phrase or much to keep on keeping on? You even made potential clients. Exactly. Anyway, that's what George was telling me. Like, Sherina, you're crazy. But it's crazy, right? You become what you do every day, I think, right? So like, it just becomes part of you. And it wasn't on purpose that I was like telling her what I was doing. She was like, okay, so we were just having a walk break for like 5 minutes. We're like, okay, let's walk for 5 minutes to have like a walk break. And she was telling me, what do you do? And she was like this 45-year-old woman, like, and she's like, yo, you're like young, tell me about you. And I'm like, I do this thing online. She's like, I want to take my business online. Do you know how to do that? And I'm like, yeah, actually, you know, I can help you maybe. She's like, yeah, it's so crazy. Do you have a phrase or mantra, Angela? So I did. My phrase and mantra was like, I can, I will, I am. I can, I will, I am. And what I did, Angela, I actually had music, like positive music that I was listening to, and like mantras that I recorded myself, like in my own voice, and I was listening to it. So that helped me a lot, those two things. Your heart is a winner, my love. Thank you, Laura. So it's also about like, I think the other thing too that we can add to the lessons is being present. If I would have started the race being like, and actually when I started, my stomach started paining. Like that's where the fear is there, right? And like the first 10 minutes, I was like, no, I cannot be the next, like, 2 hours or 2.5 hours with this. Like I need to shift this. And I was like, because when you're running and you're doing exercise and like that you get that pointy, what is it? Like pointy pain. I was like, no. And in my mind, I was like, okay, subconscious mind, like universe, God, heal this for me. Like I need to make this work. I want to feel good. And I was like, my mantra in that moment was like, I'm feeling better and better. I'm feeling better and better. My body's feeling better, but everything's easing in. And minutes in, I forgot that I had that pain and it was literally gone. Like how crazy is that? Like the power of the mind. So being present, yes, it's simple yet so hard. Exactly. And like moment by moment, I was just enjoying the journey. I was looking at the view because the view was gorgeous. We were like in this beautiful place in Panama. So I was just enjoying it too. And that was also the other thing. Like I think in business too, when we're so stuck on like we need to reach, like we need to hit the numbers, we don't really enjoy the process, enjoy the journey. It becomes boring and we stay stuck. But when we enjoy the journey, suddenly we realize like we're done, we're sold out, we reached it, we did the millions, like done, right? So Laura, I actually chose 21K because when I actually decided to do this, that I had joined this entrepreneur program, like this program where it was all entrepreneurs, where we were training to do a race, and the race that we were training to do was a half marathon. And I think the reason it was a half marathon because it was like big enough to like really like push our mind. You know what I mean? So that's why. I had not done a 10K before. It's so crazy, right? But obviously my training, I had to do obviously a 10K. So yeah, so crazy. We all need time for all we do and want. Exactly, ladies. So as I promised, for those of you who are live, here's what's gonna happen. If you're here live, make sure you share this video. So just put share, you can share it to your followers, your fan page, your friends. If you have any group, you can share it there. And for those of you who share this video, I'm actually gonna give you a gift. And if you're here live and you share this video, so share, and obviously you're live, and share this, message me because I'm actually going to give you a gift. I'm going to give you a video, a clearing video, so you can start clearing any of those sabotaging thoughts and beliefs so you can start being in flow as well. So in order to get that video, make sure you share this video and private message me on Facebook, and I will make sure that I get that to you, okay? Entrepreneur Marathon, yes, anime. It was like basically we're all like all of us were entrepreneurs. Like many of them were racers, kind of thing, like runners. I'm like racers, it's runners. So yeah, so make sure guys you share this to get that gift and message me so I can give it to you. And it's been awesome to be here with you guys in this video. I will be again live tomorrow. This week I will be traveling as well. So tune in to my fan page. Make sure you like and subscribe so you can get notifications on my videos. I'll be doing really cool stuff this week on Facebook Live, sharing some really cool stuff as well. So it's gonna be fun. Awesome. Thank you, ladies. Thank you so much. So guys, remember, stay in your path, one step at a time, be present. You got this. Whatever you want is possible. Like me achieving this goal of the 21K has made me realize that there's nothing impossible. Like even now that I look at the millions, you could say, like, I don't see it as so impossible now that I've done this. It's like, whoa, it's just a number. One at a time, and you reach there, you eventually do. So keep on keeping on. and I'll see you during this week. Bye.